なは僕をダメなやつと思う。鏡を見つめる僕を見下げているけど中には大きな力希望がある。 Maybe I'm a little young but you don't know what I become. Can't you see it in my face? A demon living in disguise, but you can see the killer in my eyes. I've got a look you can't escape. You can't escape. No one understood the world that I was making. Look me in the face and tell me I was faking. Maybe I'm a little young, but you don't know what I become. Can't you see it in my face? A demon living in disguise, but you can see the killer in my eyes. I've got a look you can't escape. You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd
Welcome to the Monday stream. Or is it Monday? Yeah, the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let me just say hello to everybody. B-Cat, welcome. Good for Gabby. Nadia, welcome. Derry Bennett, I'm just me. Heat, how's it going? Nice flannel too. Yeah, it's kind of cold. It's chilly out here, so I'm dressed appropriately. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, it's hard to hear that, Nadia. That's crazy. Speaking of which, there's a confirmed case of a trans activist who herself is cisgender has gotten stranded in India after some sort of targeting by the U.S. State Department with backdoor passport revocation. She's an ACLU attorney. I think that makes sense. This makes sense. The form of backdoor passport revocation, she got hit, which was weird, saying they have no records of her. Others who have been hit thus far have had the U.S. State Department falsely claim the passports were lost or stolen. Yeah, I would be paying attention to that. That is potential. It's pretty clear to me that that they are targeting people, whether it be for just who they are, for being activists. Scary stuff. And if they can do it to one person, they can do it to anybody. Okay. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. But not enough time. Not sure trans activist is the best description of a civil rights attorney who specializes in transgender civil rights. Well, I mean, she'd be a civil rights attorney, right? I'm just saying, like, whether you're an activist, like a leftist, or just being targeted because you're trans or because you're gay, all of this is on the table. So it does not surprise me that they would be trying to attack or target not just a trans person, but specifically someone who is an ACLU attorney. This makes perfect sense under this administration. There are chatterings going around saying ordinary trans people are getting passports masked backdoor revoked. Yeah, I would definitely double check, especially if you're trans in the U.S. Definitely double check and make sure, because if the need arises, it would be nice to have those papers ready. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Alright, folks. Thank you all for being here. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and how much time to talk about it? So first of all, folks, this space, check out this space. We are doing a huge shake up on this space. If you want to go support that channel, which I am also a part of and contributor, please go check out this space on YouTube by checking out this link here. I do my shows Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. There's going to be a huge subscriber run for a couple weeks, and one of the best ways you can help support a working class media collective of pretty much anything you can think of, go subscribe. Bruno, USA's barbecue chicken with the Greenland threats, like, done more than done. If you want to support the channel, check out those other links. Thank you, Heat. I really want to know, like, how would I see any vertical chatters on my channel, but I guess I can't see that. Oh well. I'm just a little sleepy today. Me too. It's the cold. I know you guys are probably a lot colder. Weather up there, it's sounds rough. But to us it's cold. To us it's cold. I was up until 4 a.m. and it's 2 degrees. Jeez. I need to get a hold of my Einwanderungswald, German immigration lawyer ASAP. Yeah, I would definitely check in case you know, in case the need arises. Definitely, whether whether you are here or not, definitely check, especially U.S. Citizens. Is that freedom units or non-freedom units? Freedom units. Gotcha. In Berlin, it would be minus 30. Sorry, I'm like trying to do quick maths on the fly. Minus 30, I think. It's -1 here in non-freedom units. That's not too bad. That's honestly, that's kind of like a little bit close to what we are here. Maybe warmer. It might be a little bit warmer here. No, it's more like -16. Oh, I said 32. Sorry. I may or may not have doubled up on the math there. That's what I get for trying to do quick math. I haven't gotten from under the covers. If I had the option, I would definitely be under the covers right now. I'm bad at math, I googled. Well, thank you, because I'm also bad at math. The reason why people in the US still use freedom units is due to anti-intellectualism. I mean, it's the US, so it is what it is. Alright, folks, let's get started. We have so much stuff to go through. Okay, my thing is not working, so whatever. I want to use metric measures, but no, it's so much easier. It's so much easier. Ladybug, welcome. Because you go by tens. Like how complex can it be? Centimeters, millimeters. Like it objectively is easier. But whatever. New pick, new me. Welcome. Very fitting. Very fitting. Jimmy Carter was rolling out the metric system and the illegitimate coup regime of Ronald Reagan canceled the changeover. Really? I didn't. That's a fact that I didn't know, and I 100% believe that that's exactly what happened. That is exactly a Ronald Reagan type move. Okay, that is exactly a Ronald Reagan type move. Because of course, we could have had a much easier time, but nope. Ronald Reagan, man. Anything bad that you can think of, when it comes to like the United States in the living memory, in recent living memory. It can all be attributed to like Ronald Reagan, okay? Including like, I can't believe that's crazy that we would be actually with the rest of the world just using normal metric system, which is way easier. But no, of course, Ronald Reagan ruins everything, as usual. Ronald Reagan ruining everything as usual. You can send that to me. Thunder's just won. Nice. I'm thinking that's basketball, am I right? Heat with the tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's 52 months. Happy MLK Day. Thank you so much for the subscription. That is massive. 52 months. If I had a working soundboard, you'd get a round of applause. Let's try it again. If the former CIA director Poppy Bush didn't coup Jimmy Carter, then yes. Ha! I can't believe it myself sometimes. There you go. Miami playing tonight. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say Miami's probably gonna win. Oh, hey, the sound effect worked, and then it just collapsed. It's okay. The soundboard, you know, it is what it is. But it worked once. I sent the link in Discord. Oh yeah, it did what it needed to do. That's right. Once. Oh, ha. Yeah. It's a national policy to adopt a metric system under executive order signed by President George Bush. However, the conversion was not made mandatory as U.S. customary units remain in common use for the government. Yada, yada, yada. That's so annoying. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense to be under the standard thing. In 1981, USMB reported to Congress that it lacked the clear congressional mandate necessary to bring about the national conversion because of its ineffectiveness. An effort of the Reagan administration, particularly from Lynn Northridge's efforts as a White House advisor to Reagan administration to reduce the federal spending, the USMB was disbanded in autumn of 1982. Oh yeah, here we go. Ah, there it is. Boo. When's the next Rapture Day? Tomorrow. Boo. Lynn Notzberger is the particular person who corruptly influenced Reagan to cancel the metrification. That's annoying. Everything negative in living recent memory, it can be just attributed to Reagan. It's incredible how that holds true. All right, folks, we got to talk about a couple of different things. So, I was just watching this video that came out like not that long ago. Apparently, and I'm only learning about this because, you know, TYT. TYT is generally not on my radar. Because there's no point. Oh, hello, cat. Goodbye, cat. I kind of forgot about them. Me too, until this surfaced again. And I think there is some kind of like there is some kind of conversation to be had about this, simply on the front of just be aware of the type of so-called progressives and the people who got us here, where they're at right now. Yep, he set all this in motion. We're watching Pretty Game Show, also no point. They went from the Young Turks to the Young Turfs at some point. Yep. I want to see stuff about TYT when it's covered by someone else, like the Surfs. Yeah, this time, and the way they handled the situation, because like at the time, when Jank and Anna were having this debate over whether or not Trump is a fascist, and that became like that actually became discourse on TYT, okay, which is insane because like obviously, right, of course Trump is a fascist. I don't know why that needed to be discourse, but apparently Anna felt the need to somehow fall in the position of Trump is bad, but he's not a fascist. If he was actually a fascist, why isn't he doing fascist things? Exactly like Hitler or whatever. Just poor framing for someone who's supposed to be so intelligent and so read. Zara Mamdani wouldn't say any better. I opened the tab an hour ago and apparently never loaded the live. YouTube. I think we all came from TYT. Yep, and here we are. And the way she treated, or the way TYT treated their creators,
Before Riley Gaines, there was Caitlin Bennett.
Sorry, Emma, hold on 1 second. The way she treated Francesca, the way she treated close friends, I mean, like, that's pretty much the line. The way she went palling around on different right-wing shows to try to find common ground is why we're here. We have a police force grabbing people off the street for having accents, literally for having accents. Yep, and being brown. Sisvian, it's sub-zero temperatures. Yeah, stay warm out there. Yeesh. Ramona, thank you for the follow. Judgment Free Zone, welcome. And oh, how the turntables, folks. How the turntables. I'm like the only one that didn't come from TYT. I think I started getting involved in politics around the time Anna started turfing.
By the way, guys, I was so wrong. I'm sorry. I feel guilt every single day that I didn't see this coming.
Political commentator Anna Kasparian of the progressive network The Young Turks, who famously a few years ago declared herself politically unaligned and spent the run-up to the 2024 election and most of 2025 gracing right-wing...
You know what? I hope it haunts her every single day for the rest of her life. I'm dead serious. I hope it haunts her every single day for the rest of her life.
Shows not to challenge, but to find common ground with them, the ground right over the bodies of trans people.
Is it bad that I don't want to see a dick in the women's locker room? Is that bad?
No.
Anna is now having a bit of a come to Jesus moment and apologizing for not seeing all of the fascism coming and not rightfully calling Trump a fascist.
By the way, guys, I was so wrong. I knew Trump was going to be bad. I didn't like, just because, when I hear the word fascist, I think of...
Think of what, Anna? Like, the thing is, like, this doesn't work with Anna because she is not dumb. She is not ignorant, okay? She can't feign ignorance on this one. She can't feign ignorance because she's not ignorant. That's just not a thing. to say like, well, when I thought people were calling him a fascist, I thought it was, the wokey radical left people who were just making stuff up. That's weak sauce. That's weak sauce. Was she actually fooled? No way. There's no way that she as smart as she is and has been doing this for so long. She's been doing this for about like more than twice the amount of time than I have. Okay? I'm not buying this apology. She's sliding up to the left to let back in so she can keep earning in the media. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. All this anti-trans stuff is a big part of what got me paying more attention into politics. Good. Good. Here in NYC, we have tons of illegal Russians and Irish, and ICE is leaving them alone. I wonder why. I myself had a Scottish manager here and had an expired visa for years. That's right. When fascism comes to America, will it not be in black and brown shirt? Yeah, like Anna was fake, falsely saying that like, oh, well, there's technically like, not enough Sieg Heiling, okay? Not once have I seen Trump Sieg Heil, so therefore, I guess he's not a fascist or whatever. Anyways,
fascism is a specific ideology. So when Jake and I got into
yes, fascism is a very specific ideology that Trump fits in. He fits perfectly with that. Like we didn't just make up, this idea that Trump is a fascist because we wanted to call him a fascist for the sake of calling him a fascist. That's just not how that works. That's just not how that works. There's literally a checklist. We just checked off the boxes that he applied to. Yeah. No, Soul Life, I fixed that. There's only one stream. There's only one stream. There's only one chat. Must showing the Hitler group wasn't enough for her. The whole Germany called it out and no one listened. Yep. And the thing is, she knows. That's what's annoying. She knows this. She's being dishonest. She knows this. And quite frankly, if she is going to be apologetic, okay, words mean absolutely nothing to me, okay? She is part of the reason as to why we're here. People like her are the reasons, are part of the reasons why we're here. If that makes sense. Going around and normalizing fascism, going around the right-wing circuit, and palling around and normalizing this is part of the reason why we're here. So if she, I don't need her apology. I don't need an apology video. I don't need her to go grovel at anyone's feet. What I do need is for her to start working with actions to clean up her mess. Okay? That sounds great, Kirkenstein's monster. Sounds like Hitler Goose rhyming with goose. Ooh, excuse me. Thank you. What did Miss Germany 1941 do now? She's pretending that she now sees the light, and she's very sorry about all the stuff that she did. So yeah, I guess it's all good now, folks. I feel like she knows she can't pivot further to the right, and there's no market for her central liberal BS. Yeah, and there's not going to be any market for her on the left too, because she burned that bridge. And the fact that that she was so hostile against and ultimately, I imagine being a part of the reason why she was Francesca Fiorenti was pushed out of TYT, and I don't think she's ever apologized to her either. The fact that she would attack and dismiss a close friend of hers who told her what was going to happen. The fact that a lot of her colleagues were telling her what she was doing was wrong. this is the end result. Trump gets elected, and now now that ICE is out there on the streets killing people, now all of a sudden the light bulb clicks. So I mean, like, again, look, words mean nothing to me coming from her, and this only goes, if there's any lesson here, is that it's simply that she just can no longer be trusted going forward. And if she wants to, she can start cleaning up her mess by taking actions. Okay, she doesn't need the left for that. She can take her own actions and clean up her own mess. She doesn't need us for that, and she doesn't need to prove anything to anybody except through her actions. She did not make enough money grifting to the right. Yep. She's not just grifting. She don't understand them for the perpetrators of the Armenian genocide as an Armenian. I mean, that's also a point. She was also hostile to Emma, too, from the Majority Report. Yeah, exactly. And she was told about this privately, publicly, and here we are. The end results. The chickens came home to roost, and now it's her butt on the line. She doesn't understand Stephen Miller would not see her as white.
To that debate about whether or not Trump is fascist leading up to the election. Notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just going to use fascist toward anyone we dislike,
which that's not what's happening. That's the frustrating part. Like, people aren't just going around saying you're a fascist, you're a fascist, you're a fascist because I don't like you. That's not what's happening. We as the left, with the Cassandra syndrome that we consistently live with, we're calling out obviously fascist stuff. And this is a right wing this is a right wing tactic to say you're just calling anyone you don't like fascism or fascist. Matt from the Letter Hack, welcome. I love how not only Anna is in a bubble, but she thinks she's the only one who can pop that bubble. Anna is still being in a bubble. Yeah, her own. The young Trumps, I hate Anna Kasparian. I mean, she's got work to do as well, is all I'm saying. She's got work to do.
all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay, what do you want me to say, Anna? You want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator, but I don't even think you want.
Like, how is Cenk on the right side of this? Like, how is Cenk on the right side of this? That's the wild part about this. I you know, thank goodness that the internet is forever and you can just go back and see her own words. But how Cenk is on the right side of this is wild. Because it's obvious that he's a fascist. Trump always was a fascist. This is not new information. This was Trump 1.0 information. This is information that you, as a media person, as a bobblehead, as a media pundit, right? A media bobblehead like myself, by the way, should know if you've been in this for what, 20-something years. She's not a compromised left-winger. She's a right-winger who did some faking to be left, getting too closely with Armenian genocide perpetrator worshippers was 100% natural for her. Yeah, I mean, she's not on the left at all. That grift fell apart real quick. And you know that because if you say that you hold progressive values or you hold left-wing values, whatever, you know, little lowercase l leftism, or whatever, socialist values, Marxist values, whatever you want to call yourself on the left, and all it takes, okay, and all it takes is someone, you know, is hearing about this term called birthing person to send you on the edge of madness and drop all those principled positions that you pretended to have, then it sounds like you may not be as then it sounded like to me that you don't actually hold those values, and the mask came off when you know, that happened with the whole birthing person incident. Word doesn't mean anything. Well, when you don't care about anyone but yourself, it's easy to just play semantics. Yep. This is TYT trying not to bleed off the last few viewers hanging on. Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work because anybody on the left has already discredited her. Like, we don't care about her opinions, and nobody should with regards to politics. Because how do you get this so wrong as someone who's supposed to be so intelligent and well-read? It just means that we can't trust you. That's exactly what it means. If gender mania was all it took for her to go to the right, then she was acting out of grift. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. And then her going on her talk with Lindy Lee and spouting right-wing propaganda. Yeah, all of this is on brand. I mean, she was saying right-wing propaganda within this very clip. Within this very clip. Yeah, they're being facetious, Christian.
Wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election and you go, oh, I got fake electors and I'd like to terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law against American citizens.
Yeah, what would you call that? What would you call that, Anna?
And shoot protesters. I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But was he
like that's what's amazing to me about this. How is Cenk like so like he's right. In fact, I probably couldn't have responded to that better than he did. That was exactly the right response. Like, if you're gonna go around here and saying like it's not fascism when obviously it is, then like maybe the word shouldn't exist because obviously the definition is not working for you. And arriving on the left at the same time as Rachel Maddow, amazing.
able to do those things? There wasn't evidence.
That was so wild to me. Yeah, but was he able to do those things? That doesn't matter. Okay? This is also, by the way, a right-wing talking point. Oh, he's not fascist because he actually hasn't, like, consolidated power, like, I don't know, like Mussolini or like Hitler did. Okay, so we're gonna wait until he does? I'm confused. Why would that matter? Fascism is an ideology. It's not whether or not you can do a fascism. Like, I'm on the left, and I'm not even a politician, but my ideology and my morals or whatever, they're very clearly on the left. That still makes me a leftist. Just because I'm like not a leftist politician doing leftist policies doesn't mean I'm not a leftist. I don't understand. At the time, Cenk probably still in the it should have been me phase.
To suggest that he has or believes in a fascist ideology. I've seen now
He does.
Multiple videos of innocent people who are.
It doesn't matter what he calls it, right? This is so silly. Like, it doesn't matter what he calls it, because like I don't think Trump would say like I am a fascist, but the policies that he believes in, the rhetoric that he does, the people that he surrounds himself with, they're all fascist. Right? This is like saying like I believe in a world where there should be a democratization of the workplace, where capital's power shouldn't really exist in the way that it does now. Workers should own the means of production. I think that we can build a society and an economic system that you know centers around that, and then someone's like, hey, that sounds like leftism. I was like, what are you talking about? That's not leftism. Bro, you're just listing out all the core leftist principles about core leftist principles about how you would run like a society, and you're saying that you're not a leftist. Chunk Yogurt is a disgrace, calling himself a progressive. Homes of progressives. I'm listening to two tabs and they're both covering TYT. I was confusing who was playing what. Yeah, this has been going around, and I want to add to that because like, you want to know how we got here? Well, here's part of the equation. It's not the whole equation, obviously. And just to be clear, like, Republicans are the ones that are doing all of this, but if they have people like, what is it? With friends like TYT, I mean, who needs enemies?
They're not obstructing, they're not getting involved, they're doing nothing other than standing kind of like away off to the side and filming ICE as they're, raining terror on people.
Yeah, Anna, like a fascist regime, right? Like the one that everyone told you about that would happen. It's not like they wrote this down. They did.
And the ICE agents walk up to them and literally knock them to the ground. American citizens. I know. I'm sorry. I feel guilt every single day that I didn't see this coming.
What are you talking about? That's a lie. You were told. What do you mean you didn't see this coming? You were told about this repeatedly. That is a lie. You were told about this repeatedly, and I do hope that she does feel guilt for the rest of her life every single day. Every single day, because that's at the very least. They keep trying to censor you. Her husband's last name is Lopez. Things that make you ponder. Stephen Miller is apparently obsessed with Lee Camp, the Saints, and Jean Respel was a full-born petinist. Fascization is a process, and it requires collaborators like Anna to be successful. Yep.
Such an idiot.
Ergo, he is a fascist. Sorry, you forgot to finish your thought there, but otherwise...
Yeah, so, like, again, I can't believe all of this is happening. I feel like there's an Onion article that should be written by this. Like, I can't believe this happened. This is happening. Says a political commentator who was warned that that these things would happen. I mean, what? I can't believe the guy who was screaming at the top of his lungs that he would do fascism is doing fascism. I can't believe the entirety of the left who had decided to disparage and fight instead of work with. Is correct. TYT has less integrity than the Onion. The Onion is the Onion. Can't beat those guys. Yeah, who seemed to understand this threat under the first administration, which is like very, very obvious that this is all like nonsense, right? Like she's lying is what I'm saying. Even Maddow arrived earlier. She did. Remember, fascism has to be denied for a considerable amount of, even after it's implemented. That's a globalist tactic. Yep. That's true. Because, I mean, obviously, like, you can't, like, the way fascism works isn't by going around and saying, like, we're fascists and we want to, like, ethnically cleanse the country, right? Like, that's not how it works. It starts with, hey, white man, okay? Look what they're taking from you. These other, whatever those others may be, immigrants, brown people, people of color, Jewish people. Fascism preys upon a economically fraught and destable society. That's why some folks have pointed out that fascism is usually comes around when capitalism is in decay. That's why it happens. Capitalism is the issue. Yes. Capitalism and the failure of capitalism devolving into this, it inevitably leads to a fascist person coming around and saying, I can fix this. The problems isn't capitalism, obviously. It can't be that. The problem is, you know, the brown people. The problem is trans people. The problem is gay people. The problem is these lunatic leftists who want healthcare. I mean, come on, people. We can't have that. The Onion can't even do a sardonic politics now because their headlines are real now. I think they even made fun of that by saying like they were going out of business because they could no longer like make parody articles because of the real world. It's the real world now. I'm pretty sure they even made fun of themselves for that.
Beautifully said, especially that last part.
I'm such an idiot.
Now, credit where credit is due. It takes guts to admit when you are wrong. But as someone who was booted from the TYT network for pointing out colorfully that coddling the right was no way to advance democracy or human rights, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm in front of vulnerable communities. I'm the most endangered, Franny.
By tweeting at Elon Musk? Please,
whatever.
don't help me. I find myself a little peeved.
Oh my god, I can't help but laugh. Jank, man, jank. Amazing. Amazing stuff. They booted her out for this, by the way.
And quite unsatisfied. And at the risk of making this egomaniac retreat on her own words, she, after all, has been known to shape her beliefs based on what commentary is made about her, I do think it's important to ask.
Their voices are great, I agree. Michael Hasser, welcome. Even social democrats ultimately failed to realize capitalism is the problem. Well, I mean, they feel, it feels like they, it feels like they know. They know and are arriving at the more correct position. The problem with like this, the social democrats is like they feel like they can fix it. Whereas we would say it can't be. Fascist regimes feed themselves with capitalism, no autocracy, just as simple as that. I mean, well, I wouldn't say that. I think that you can have autocracy or autocratic societies without capitalism. But capitalism is inherently anti-democratic. Capitalism is incompatible with democracy. Point blank, period. Hitler still creeped fascism into Germany for 7 years before he became chancellor, and the whole time it was an authoritarianism because other parties were allowed to exist. Right. You cannot reform this shit. Capitalism cannot be fixed. I agree. And it doesn't matter what you do. It will always find its way back to where we are now.
How did you not see this coming? See, back in the heady days of 2024 and 2025, when TYT wasn't quite sure when the next Peter Thiel-funded Polymarket check was going to cash.
Live from the Polymarket Studios.
Zero shame. Zero shame. Holy crap, zero shame. In case you were wondering where the memes come from. God bless Francesca for putting this clip in. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. God bless for her for her putting on this clip. Your face. Left-wing terrorism is bringing people universal health care. True. Universal education. True. Guaranteed housing. Guaranteed employment. Right-wing terrorism is gassing and cremating minority people by forcing women into domestic servitude while barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, Durango Brigade war crimes, etc. Yeah, exactly. Okay, exactly. But, you know, Anna can't find the difference between them. Not to set us off track, but did you see the NH Libertarian Party post that all my N-words are Nazis? Yeah, that is like par for the course for the NH Libertarian Party account. So that does not surprise me at all. I stopped covering the NH libertarian account simply because like it's just obvious. Like there's just a bunch of like racist Nazi stuff. Like there's nothing more to say about the NH Libertarian Party Twitter account except it's run by like a griper who peaked in high school and lives in 4chan. You should start doing that live from my basement. Remind yourselves that Hugo Chavez was put on the terrorist list because of his opposition to capitalism. Yeah, I mean, Trump is saying that if you're anti-capitalist, you're a domestic terrorist. So, can we skip to the stage where everyone realizes we should have had socialism all along? I wish we could like hit that like fast forward button. Libertarians revealed the neo-Nazism beneath the mask, basically around Gamergate. Yeah, 100%. And we were called crazy for pointing that out. We were being fed the same line Anna Kasparian was just trying to feed us moments ago. Like, oh, you're just calling these people Nazis because you don't like them because you know they were anti-women, but they're not Nazis. Yeah, okay. How many of those ended up being freaking Nazis? A lot of them. A lot of them. As a European, I can understand how the richest country in the world has no social security system. Well, I mean, yeah. The richest country in the world. Not us though, not the working class. The rich people have all the rich have all the money in the richest country in the world. So that's why we have no real good social security or social safety net system. It's all garbage. We don't even have healthcare.
What is this? Well, we got a new sponsor, Polymarket.
Anna spent
Fantastic.
a lot of time soft-pedaling Trump, a fake populist who had already very much enjoyed 4 years in office.
Fake populist, by the way, is just another it's just fake right-wing populism is just another euphemism for fascist.
2 impeachments, and 1 violent insurrection to overturn the 2020 election, to say nothing of Charlottesville, the Serengeti of white nationalist militias who killed Heather Heyer in cold blood. And also, never forget the defining feature of fascism is corporate power. And in Trump's first term, he gave...
The fusion between corporate and state power is usually a very strong indicator of fascism. Yeah. Did we not just see Trump saying that he was going to strong-arm the defense industry, the private contractors, if they don't deliver weapons fast enough? Yeah.
the rich a massive...
And we were told, by the way, we're exaggerating and we're crazy and loony leftists.
tax break that added $1.9 trillion to our debt. But other than all of that, how would we know that Trump was going to be fascist in his second term? It's not like there was some playbook, you know, with some ominous name like Project 2025 written by a bunch of Trump and Vance besties that spelled it all out.
Trump has very aggressively disavowed Project 2025.
Oh, well, thank goodness he did, even though he's doing it. Okay, sure. Thanks, Anna. You know, I'm so glad that we can rely on Trump's word. Like, this is how weak sauce this is, right? This is how weak sauce this is. Hey, folks, the president said tomorrow is Thursday, but we all know that tomorrow is Tuesday, but Trump said it was Thursday. He very aggressively said that tomorrow was Thursday, the 23rd. Redmond Berry, welcome. Social Security is an earned benefits retirement. Benefit based on taxes income. There's a short-term welfare support. Yeah, there's very little options that we have as far as welfare to the extent that it exists. I'm saying it can be attested by others. Right on Giannis Varoufakis. Big fan, by the way, if you want to find out more. The use of the word corporation in that quote is referring to something different from the U.S. legal construct to represent firms and businesses. Gotcha. There's also disability payments for people who cannot work. Yeah, but they're garbage and it's really difficult to get. I know this because I work in insurance, and getting SSDI benefits is so difficult and so tedious that literally if you qualify for SSDI or social disability benefits, then you automatically like don't have to show any further proof of disability for us. It's that difficult and tedious that we literally you give us an approval letter that you're receiving SSDI or whatever, you're good to go for us. Because it's so difficult and so annoying to get to prove and get that it's we can use it as disability proof. So yeah, comparing Anna and Rachel Maddow is ridiculous. Anna's an opportunistic grifter. Rachel's an LGBTQIA member and an ally. She never said BS about trans people. She's just liberal, which I guess is problematic for the things that she didn't report on. But comparing her to Anna, why not mention all the MSM View hosts? Well, no, I don't think we're comparing. I think the comment that a previous chatter said that like it's incredible that like, you know, Anna, who supposedly was supposed to be some kind of like progressive, right? She painted herself as a progressive for years, and knows better. Lied and all this stuff. Is now having a come to Jesus moment, whereas Rachel Maddow got to that point a lot quicker, probably because she's more real than Anna is. But we're not comparing the two, just to be clear. Still wild to me that they literally wrote a book and people still having voted for that bastard. Yep.
There are portions of Project 2025, namely on immigration policy, that Trump does agree with and he campaigns heavily on. But associating it with the Trump campaign because some former Trump administration officials are now part of the Heritage Foundation, I think is a little bit unfair. Well,
what? Yeah, associating it with former Trump-like people, incidentally, people that he still agrees with, and some of them are still back in Trump 2.0. Yeah, but like that doesn't really tie to Trump in any way, shape, or form. I mean, only the people around him, but not him himself, right? It's just everyone around him, right? His circle, but not him. Because, he disavowed it. He distanced himself from it, so of course. Yeah, the most essential command is denying what your eyes and ears and see, what your eyes and ears see and listen. Yep, that is the party's essential and most final command. Karen Kasparin is in the news again. News is we're going to use that term very loosely, but yes, she's in the discourse again because she is trying to do an apology tour that isn't really connecting. Look, if this is true and she genuinely feels that way, that's great, but it means nothing. Okay, what she actually needs to do is the work. Okay, her apologies, her words, her I'm wrong and I feel like an idiot and all that, it all means nothing. It's all worth less than toilet paper to me. What she can do is take action and clean up her own mess. That's what she can do. I don't need her to go on camera and do all this stuff. What I need her to do is take action. Walk the walk. I don't need the talk, okay? Just walk the walk. And clean up your mess.
There's a lot that he doesn't agree with that's in that document and said that he won't actually pursue.
Oh, well, thank God, thank God. If Trump, well, I'm so glad that she can trust the president with this much confidence. It's fantastic. Toilet paper, USA. Remember the 2 years TYT spent pretending that a Venezuelan gang took over an apartment complex in spite of all the evidence when TYT literally had an investigative journalism team they could have sent in? Yep. And instead they chose to keep running that lie about the apartment. Yep. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers. By the way, welcome My Dogs Are Goth. Thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate it. In France, a disabled person receives $1,200 USD per month plus $300 USD for electricity bills and half his home rent bills and free transportation card plus free social security system. I mean, like, you know, like how you would act as if your country actually cared about citizens. Yeah, that makes sense. I will forever trust Maddow over Anna for the rest of time. Me too. I'd rather, honestly, like, Rachel Maddow is way more honest, way more honest than Anna Kasparian. Like, she's done. Anna Kasparian's credibility is shot. It's done. It's gone. Whatever's left of it, whatever there was, it's gone. It's gone. Nobody cares about how sorry she is. It's too late. We're already in it. It doesn't do us any good that you're saying sorry now. We're already in fascism.
Are we going to pretend like Trump read a 900-page document?
Yeah, that was a real excuse that Trump can't read. Well, guess what? Neither can the ICE Gestapo, but that's not stopping them from murdering people in the streets. The one time Anna chose to believe Trump, to hear what she wanted to hear, to soothe the mean comments online, she was deafeningly wrong. Project 2025 was the playbook. It did call for everything we're seeing right now. Massive expansion of ICE funding, mandatory detention of all immigrants, a massive buildup of 100,000 new beds to house those.
That's all there. Like, I don't understand how anybody can be. They were literally holding up signs that said mass deportations now. How, like, what do you think that meant? And I know that she was watching that. She's a political bobblehead like me. I know she was watching the RNC convention. I know she was watching the nomination process. I know she saw all those people raise those banners saying mass deportations now. So she absolutely, what did she think was going to happen? Like, it doesn't matter if Project 2025 was 1 page or 900. You didn't need Project 2025 to know what was happening here. Thank you for the follow, Robs. I still think Maddow should start an OnlyFans with how hard she edged Democrats from 2016 to 2020. The level of detail they went into was no practice run. They straight up had training videos. Yep. Mass deportation equals ethnic cleansing. Yep. There are Raspbill fans on one side and Trump and Sellner fans on the other. Fantastic. And has proven to be a horrible, privileged person. Yep, that's basically the TLDR. The lessons that we are going to take. And again, if she's truly sorry and truly having a come to Jesus moment, that's great. Now do something about it. Now do something about it. If she's genuinely having this this come to Jesus moment, because she knows she effed up real bad, then get to work. Get to work. Stop talking. You don't need to be in front of the camera and you know, evangelizing about how sorry you are now and how you've seen the light. Right? I've seen the light. That does us no good. No good at all.
And an elimination of programs like TPS and punishing any state that doesn't comply with the above. Check, check. Check, 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 check. But was that okay with her so long as they were doing it to undocumented people? Because did anyone else notice that part of the apology?
And the ICE agents walk up to them and literally knock them to the ground. American citizens. American citizens.
Yeah. Project 2025 also spends a Kasperian amount of time on trans people,
Hey, a Kasperian amount of time. I like
obsessed
that.
with there only being 2 genders. And yes, by executive order, there are now only 2 genders. And
Oh man, I'm so glad. You know, it's executive order, so it's real. Man, this funny comedian is making fun of my favorite news personality, Anna Kasparian. Has anybody heard of her? And Jank Uger. Mr. Unfunny is very woke and sad. Watch my exclusive interview on TYD tonight.
gender ideology, as it's called, is being criminalized. And oh cute,
Yep.
the feds are now investigating schools for possible trans athletes. But I digress. Trump 2.0 has also ingratiated himself with billionaires of every industry, let the richest man on earth hollow out the government and then redirect funds to himself. And oh yeah, they passed the big fugly bill enshrining those 2017 tax cuts permanently. Textbook fascism. This person has been doing the news for nearly 2 decades. They should have known better. And look, I get it. The brain gets cooked. Or maybe it's getting lazy and sees what it wants to see to go on the
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not like very familiar. But he's like some kind of Nazi dude, like far right guy. I don't normally talk about trans problem. I told him there's no problem and mind your business. Exactly. Like who cares? Like what are you talking about? The trans problem. Jesus. You can send that to me in whispers.
shows that it wants to go on. But she did a massive disservice to her audience, and she threw leftists and progressives under the bus for it. And it's only a matter of time before she'll do it again. Which, by the way, Anna, did you ever catch that undocumented person who started the LA wildfires? No? Better luck next time.
Oof.
Hey, if you want more drama and
Oof. Cooked like a Thanksgiving turkey, let me tell you. Cooked like a Thanksgiving turkey. Yep, she'll sell on anyone. Yep, as long as the money's right. But apparently, the money's not right, so she's trying to shift. The first URL was to Gene Respel's Wikipedia, and the second was to Martin Sellner's. Yeah, Sellner, I recognize, vaguely. He's like some far right Nazi dude. Bella Lugrisi, welcome. The new Taylor lens is really good. I gotta check that out later. No, I think... no, it's very illegal to start fires. Welcome, Kuda Malama. Alright, folks, let's shift gears. Can we get some ha-has? Oh, the immigration. Gotcha. Yes.
Before Riley Gaines, there was Caitlin Bennett. Who I remember, first thing that comes to mind is that there's a rumor that she shit her pants.
Yep.
Yeah, Caitlin Bennett shit her pants so Riley Gaines can swim.
Probably true. And then
Where, at Tim Pool's place?
At a party.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I haven't seen evidence to the contrary.
At Pool's place, I can tell you, it's worth saving it for the toilet.
Oh my
As
god.
always, love hearing about that. Well, she also then
Okay, if you don't know the context, folks, it is rumored, allegedly. It is rumored allegedly that Samuel Cedar, the man we see on the screen right here, blew up Tim Pool's toilet. That is the allegations, okay? That the rumors that we are privy to. I spent my entire weekend listening to Decline by NoFX on repeat. Nice. Big fan of NoFX. Seller coined the remigration rubbish. Gotcha. Oh yeah, okay. So I like I said, I vaguely remember him. He's far right dude. So his tracks. Yep. This is
second thing she's most famous for is wanting to open carry her gun around Kent State.
Kent State, ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember her. This was years ago.
Tim Tool.
And she went on Tim Pool's show. They're talking about trans people here. And I do find it amusing how Tim kind of gets caught trying to fence it, but he realizes that what the kind of audience likely wants is hatred, and then they abruptly change the subject.
Sam admitted it, didn't he? It seems like it. But I will just say that much. Blows up his own Outhouse Weekly.
She probably brought an AR-15 to the interviews.
Right. Just pointed at him under the table. You want it?
I had a nightmare that Kamala won in 2024 and we didn't get to make America great again. As opposed to the nightmare that we're living now under fascism. I'm so glad. Thank you for being a part of that, Corn Botter. For being a part of the real nightmare that we all live in right now. Amy Walter, a good video about Steve Miller being obsessed with the comes to his saints. It's Make America Go Away now.
To kind of equivocate on this. And then I'll pull a Sam Cedar in your toilet.
Oh my god.
Word to describe something, even if it is a gradient. And what I mean by that is not that gender is a sliding scale, whatever the stupid thing.
What's wrong with liking fashion? Wearing good clothes is important. No, I meant fascism, the far right ideology that you support. Come on, don't be a coward. Like, why are all you fascists, like Trump supporters, with such cowards? Just say you love fascism. Just say it. Absolute babies, man.
But like, if a dude is hopped up on, like, if a dude does a bunch of crack, right? We have a word for that. It's crackhead.
Right.
And if someone pumps themselves full of female hormones so they grow tits, and then they put on makeup, we have a word for that. It's trans woman. Yeah, but
what does that have to do with? Oh God, I hate this guy, and I hate her too.
That I disagree, because some are, and some there's a combination of mental disorders that envelop, that can manifest in the appearance of what we describe as maybe transvestite or whatever, but
a cross-dresser.
Yeah.
No. There are people that are completely cis who cross-dress and do drag queen. They're not trans.
But doesn't that doesn't?
If comedy is anti-woke, what's the purpose of it to start with? They know. The goal of comedy is to satirize the rich and powerful. Yep, we got 2 new words today. A Casparian, which means to focus on non-issue stories to an inordinate degree, and a cedar, which means to do something to a bathroom. This effing guy, I know. They're convinced him had a bad dream that MAGA got a hold of David Pakman and tortured him. It was a very graphic, vivid dream. I remember now because I mentioned how we have ICs from Argentina. Yep. Take the beanie off, Tim Tool. The inability to recognize material things have no inherent gender is truly mind-boggling. Yep. And also, like, even if somehow you can't, even if somehow this is a difficult concept for you to wrap your head around, here's a better, Michael Hasser said it earlier, mind your business. If it's too much to understand that some people just aren't cis, and some people aren't cis heterosexuals, then mind your business. That's right, gender's in the head. Some people are just born in the wrong body, and that's okay. Let them be. Let them be. People are people. Let them be. I heard an AFD nutcase say Ich bin MAGA, which was being too stupid to realize that Macht Deutschland weiter Robust or similar would have had two acronyms like MDWG. It's fused to his skull. If he takes it off, he dies. Wasn't that Ben Franklin wanted the nation's words to be "mind your business"? Yeah, it's written like you have to look for it, but it's actually written in the Declaration of Independence. Exactly. Always mind your business.
I know what you're saying.
We're saying
Wait, hold on, pause it.
Right.
Redditor,
it's
maybe?
different than just dressing.
So like,
Sorry. I just love that he knows that cross-dressing is different than being trans,
Yeah,
right? Like
obviously. And
he's
again,
close enough, he's smart enough, and that
again, even if you didn't understand or this is so difficult for you to wrap your head around or whatever, then mind your business. This is nothing to do with you, okay? Why don't you mind your own business and leave Tim's stool alone? I've had bread for almost 3 weeks and somehow it hasn't molded. I do use airtight bread boxes away from the light and I seal the bread. I compress the bag to remove air before sealing it. Well, that answers your question. Yes. You can freeze it too. Yeah, you can freeze it too. And why care about other people and do it with their own bodies? Like, that's just so creepy. Yeah, that's why, like, it's a big red flag when I hear far right people like Caitlin Bennett refer to trans people as perverts, because that tells me how they're thinking. That tells me how they're thinking. I don't like eating frozen bread. No, you thought. I call him Pim Tool. Also, Ben Franklin would have been on it regarding to getting someone boy preggers. These are verified facts.
it's not saying much to realize that, like, there's drag, there's cross-dressing,
Yep.
And then there's people who change their gender medically, whether it be
Yep.
through hormones, whether it be through surgery. And he's trying to make that distinction, and she's not allowing it. What did she say? Some mental disorder or some horrible
Pervert.
Pervert. Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Do you support Trump, the pedophile protector? Just
I mean, this is what I'm saying about them. They think they won the trans.
Yeah, he's not just a pedophile protector. Trump is a pedophile himself. MAGA's for America, so they're basically totally admitting it to being a total foreign astroturf idiotic rubbish. 1,000%, because the acronym is just not German and has American instead of Deutschland, the German name for Germany. Yep. Yeah. 1,000%. That I 100% agree with you on that.
Argument, but it's all incoherent, and they just decided on hate.
yeah.
that can manifest in the appearance of what we describe as maybe transvestite or whatever, but
a cross-dresser.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
But I know what you're saying.
We're saying they pump themselves full of drugs.
Right.
Redditor,
it's
maybe.
different than just dressing.
So like a person we describe as a trans woman. Actually, you know what? I got to stop. You know what? You're right. Because the definition from the left is that you don't have to do those things to be trans, and trans literally doesn't mean anything anymore.
That's not true.
They're just. It doesn't have a rigid definition.
No. And I don't like to play into the idea that
What is a trans woman, Tim?
oh yeah, this person is transgender, this transgender person. No, this person is either a boy or a girl.
Castrato.
And I just hate it. Oh, it's disgusting. Especially as a woman, I cannot take that stuff. It is disgusting to me.
Well, thanks for your opinion. Yeah, two morons talking to each other and going, exactly.
Oh, have you seen all the memes they've been making about the thirsty middle-aged women who want to bang ice guys?
Yes, I have, and I have a funny. Some of my bodyguards are like super jacked, and when I go out to these liberal old woman protests, without fail, they always. Your bodyguard has big muscles.
You said you want to touch them.
Yeah, well, you know.
She's like, I'm parched.
This is getting really, really weird really quickly. I'm sorry, what was that about? What was that about? Pervert? Something? Like, what are you talking about? This is weird. Stop it. The dumb shit that goes to protest and tries to get old ladies to punch her. Yep. Next time I'm heckled, I'm gonna give you the middle finger and say F you to your face, whether you're a child or an adult. I'm not a pedo protector. I'm not a pedo protector. I'm the big pedo himself. They have no empathy or zero understanding of what's that even feels like. Yep. Is someone paying them for this propaganda? Yeah. It was Russia. Now I don't know. I'm terrified the AFD will take over and I'll have to run again. Well, I don't know the chances of that. You're probably more in tune with German politics than I am, but it feels like you're probably safer there than here.
Do you want to roll up his sleeve and show his forearms and flex?
That's it.
That U-turn was so intense as the car flipped about 9-10 times.
I can't even follow half of what's going on there, but I also think that like she has also had gender affirming work done.
Vote out of Abbott out of Texas now. I agree. Welcome, Derry Bennett. The knowledge that explains it is out there. There's no reason for the ignorant talk, and spend some time in the community to get fair and balanced understanding. Of course, that's what if you really want to know, if you really want to talk to people, you know, get out there and talk to people and try to understand them and be empathetic and learn. But that's not what's happening here. 100%. Judgment-free zone. I agree.
I think it's interesting psychologically that you're talking about trans people and all of a sudden you get into sexual fantasies of people you perceive as enemies and talking about the bodies of your bodyguards. Who's paying for Caitlyn to have bodyguards?
I'm going to bet that when she goes to protest that there aren't a bunch of women with their tongues out because she's got bodyguards around her.
Yeah.
Also,
Whoa,
bitch,
I don't think that's true either, but whatever. Like, that's not even important. That's not neither here nor there. To be honest.
Protest to argue against the killing by ICE officials, but I didn't realize there'd be some studs.
Presumably she's there to make media, so why are there no clips of this, Caitlyn?
And also, bitch, you have a gun, I thought. Isn't that your whole thing? You need bodyguards on top of that? How paranoid are these people?
Yeah, like, it's so funny how, like, she's, like, literally saying, like, I need bodyguards for these old liberal women. Did anybody else catch that? Like, yeah, I need these big, muscly, strong guys to protect me from these old liberal people. Man, the enemy is both so strong that I need all these bodyguards, but also so weak that they're old liberal women who hit on my own bodyguards. I caught that. I'm gonna make an LGBTQA plus flag with the words "mind your business" on them. Seriously. And here's a fun tip: if you take a piece of celery, like the kind they bring when you order hot wings, it'll keep it fresher than the day you bought it. It seems to have anti-mold qualities too. This is news to me, because yeah, I rarely interact with celery.
Which side just shot a woman point blank in the face because she dared to criticize them? Anyway, I did just find it funny how uncomfortable Tim Pool gets, and then she brings up a clearly untrue story about how just like all these liberal women are claiming are craving such testosterone. I mean, that's why I just go hubba hubba when I see that catcher's mitt RFK Jr. drinking milk. I mean, all we need. I just want more testosterone to human body ratio, please. And I'll finally be satisfied.
Anyway, God knows what goes through Tim Pool's head.
As a woman,
this is disgusting.
I'm gonna use that just like, as a woman, will you go get me that stapler over there? I'm just gonna use that completely disconnected from anything.
Caitlyn Bennett, you're speaking as a pants shitter.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, don't.
Oh my god. We needed that. We needed that because before we get out of here, stuff's gonna get rough, folks. We needed that. really quick before we, as a pants shitter, that needs to be on the soundboard. It's gonna get rough before it gets better, folks. So following up on more, information, I think Nadia was one of the first people to bring this up. It is official, it seems, that the DOJ is not going to investigate the ICE agent's killing, not fatal shooting, murder of Renee Good. It seems like this guy is just going to be protected, and there will be no consequences for him murdering, despite all the video evidence, despite all the witness accounts, despite all the physical evidence that we can see. There will be apparently no justice. The U.S. State's Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has said that the Department of Justice will not be investigating the ICE agent who killed and murdered, not just killed, murdered. Very important distinction. Renee Nicole Good, while also confirming reports that it's looking into charges against Minnesota officials for encouraging protests. So, that's cool. Speaking to Fox News on Sunday night, Blanche said the Civil Rights Unit of the Justice Department would not bow to pressure to investigate the shooting, murder of Minneapolis resident and mother Renee Good, 37, earlier this month. We don't just go out and investigate every time an officer is forced to defend himself against somebody, said Blanche. We investigate when it's appropriate to investigate. That's actually insane. That is actually an insane insane statement to say, because that's not true at all. It doesn't matter if whether or not it ends up being justified. Borderline every single officer involved shooting is investigated. Like, that's just normal procedure. Having an investigation every time there's an officer involved shooting is standard procedure. That's like the immediate thing that happens. At his own statement of motive regarding her being a lesbian, she could have been bi, but that's what he believed. Yeah, I believe she was bi. Or at least it is presumed, because she had a previous partner that was male, and she had a wife recently, so yeah. Encouraging protests is not a criminal offense. It's not a thing. True. We investigate it when it's appropriate to investigate. In other words, they think they should never have to. Yes. Good point, Anna Haduka. It's literally the law to investigate it. No, good question. I don't know if it's literally the law, but every single officer involved shooting does get investigated. Welcome, Eager. Yeah, this is the same people who protected pedophiles, so I guess it's not a surprise at all. The criminal administration keeps making up felonies that don't exist. Yep. Fox News is wrong about Renee Goodman. She was a mother of children and loved and respected. She did no harm. Christy, don't kill her gnome. Started packing her crap and get your ass to steppin'. These guys are all in the mode of being ready to murder one, but the specific target, they aren't too picky. Yep. Like the laws matter anymore. True. Not in America. Jail! Thank you for your... Get your ass to jail. Not to step into jail. I'm feasting on every person I graduated, going effing nuts about Mark Carney today. Oof. So no, we're not investigating. If there's comes a time when we need to, we will, but it's not now. Increasingly, tense confrontations between residents and federal officers have erupted in Minneapolis since Renee Good was murdered behind the wheel of her car while protesting by ICE officer Jonathan Ross on January 7th. Blanche also noticed the footage of Good's murder was already been reviewed by millions and millions of Americans because it was recorded on the phones when it happened. Yeah, and it happened, and it was very clear that she was murdered. That's a good point, my dogs are God. Many people come out of the closet at any time, though many, if not most, gay people have the wrong relationship first. That's true. That's true. If Trump loses the midterms, what will happen in your point of view? Honestly, I have no idea. Yeah, we're not there yet. I have no idea. I have no idea. In my opinion, it's most likely that the Democrats will win the House and will lose the Senate. She wasn't protesting. What a bunch of horseshit. True. The only thing is I was planning to go to China this year anyway, so it might make it easier is all. Good luck. President's not up himself, but his party will have some losses in my opinion. I think so. I think they'll lose the House. And what will happen then? I don't know. People are starting to get pissed. Yep. Come out when you're young. Be free to live your best life. A bit more midterms seem optimistic. I also think the idea of waiting for elections is profoundly naive. Oh, I agree. It's just speculation. We're nowhere close to the midterms right now. Got a whole 11 months to go. Even normies and coworkers are starting to get pissed off. I do genuinely feel a tonal shift down south. I hope so. I hope so. However, analysis conducted by Minnesota Public Radio and APM reports found that there still remain questions about the shooting, including why it allegedly took 10 minutes after Good was shot before she was given CPR. No, I think that there's nothing really. There's no questions remaining. With regards to this murder, it's pretty obvious what happened here. It's pretty obvious. There's nothing to question. She was shot and she was killed. And she, in broad daylight, by an ICE officer who has a history of involving himself in these type of situations. He wanted this to happen. And the reason why it took 10 minutes for her to get any medical help is because they were preventing, you could hear it, and you could see the footage, it's because they were preventing medical from getting to her quickly. She had instant. No, she wasn't dead. She was not dead. She was alive. I mean, I don't know if she would have been saved, but she was alive. In fact, by the time the paramedics finally got to her, she still had she was actively dying at that point, but she still had a very faint pulse. So the point being is, I don't know if they could have saved her, but she was alive. And they prevented, there was a physician who was there, who was ready to try to render some aid. But whatever. Don't you know driving mothers with kids in SUVs are well-trained agitators? True. There's no investigation into the officer, and that's the problem. Yep. One second. Oh, no doubt. Just another human rights violation. Yep. According to NPR and the APM reports, ICE agents left Good bleeding and alone in the car for almost 3 minutes and turned away a man identifying himself as a physician who offered to help. The administration of President Trump has argued that Ross, the ICE agent who shot Good up to 4 times, was acting in self-defense, which is nonsense. They shouldn't even be putting this because it's not true. Like, we all know what happened here. There's no there's no guesswork here. There's no questions about what happened. That's what's frustrating about this. So anyways, just kind of moving along. The point being is that the Department of Justice is not going to launch an investigation. And it doesn't seem like they want to hold any of their officers accountable, because this is exactly the outcome that they wanted. This is exactly what the outcome, what they wanted. Jonathan Ross murdered her, 1000%. It's on video. Believe their lies, not our eyes. Exactly. It's on video. Black Panthers are back. Yeah, I've seen the videos. I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah, total impunity. Yes. Yes. That's what they want. And that's what they're giving these officers, because if they can kill somebody in broad daylight, okay? That's it. I mean, there's no consequences for that. Exactly. Total impunity. Yes. Yep, they never left. Interesting, Robs. And domestically jumps bases against the invasion of Greenland and tariffs against NATO allies, so it's not a good hill for him to die on. Yeah, but who cares? He thinks, you know, he's operating as if there's going to be no consequences. Enough news for me today. Also, I'm turning out the Beckham family are total freaking weirdos. This is a surprise of no one. Huh. Interesting. Gonna get pizza pops and clean my house later. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Pizza sounds good. All right, folks, we gotta move. So apparently CBS has decided to air the 60 Minutes report about CCOT. It's kind of like a day late and $1 short. But okay. Sure. Cool. Thanks, CBS. I'm so glad that you decided to broadcast the thing that you were supposed to broadcast months ago. When nobody cares about it anymore. Maybe it'll reactivate the conversation about deportations and the cruelty of this administration, but I don't know. Shame on you, CBS. Shame on you for pulling that down. Pizza on a stick. Yeah, Christian broadcast service. CBS is run by a Trump plant, so it is what it is. That makes sense. I'm gonna market that. I'm gonna win at capitalism. Good luck. Godspeed. Barry Weiss is one of the most vile propagandist administration had found in existence. True. FCBS. FCBS support PBS. How about that? I agree. Barry Weiss is a piece of work. PBS defended to hell and back. Yep. All right, folks, let's finish this up here. Vegan Donner sounds good about now. Hey, this is cool. Something that we need to pay attention to. Pentagon orders troops to prepare a possible Minnesota deployment. in regards to the potential of the Insurrection Act being invoked. Or who knows, maybe this is a distraction. I'm not sure. The Pentagon has ordered about 1,500 troops to prepare for possible deployment to Minnesota as the state reels from intensifying anti-ICE protests of the fatal murder of Renee Nicole Good. President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act in response to the unrest, and 2 battalions of the 11th Airborne Division were placed on the prepare to deploy orders in case he does. Now, here's the thing. Here's what's interesting about this, is that these specific airborne divisions were from Alaska, and these folks are specifically trained for Arctic combat. And it doesn't escape me that it could also be a distraction and sad attempt at diversion. To say that maybe these people are being prepared to to drop in into another Arctic place. But maybe it is just that simple. Maybe he is preparing to deploy a specialized troops that are trained for the Arctic. These are speculations, but I find it interesting. Oh, no doubt. Escalating, you're right, your neighborly sheet poster. Escalating stuff is never going to end up good for the regime. Tulsa 1921 Redux. Yeah, it's really effing cold here. I'm so sad about PBS. It had such a huge influence on me. Me too. I grew up on PBS because we didn't have money for cable. There's no indication that the president will use the Insurrection Act beyond his public comments. He told reporters on Friday that he doesn't think he needs to use it anymore. The news comes as the Justice Department promised to investigate and bring federal charges against protesters who disrupt the service Sunday at a church in St. Paul, where groups believe a local immigration enforcement Gestapo thug is a pastor. Dave Easterly is listed as a pastor in direct discipleship. This is Gestapo thug. Agitators aren't just targeting our officers, now they're targeting churches too, because that's where the officers are. My 2 cents are he's going to invoke it regardless. It's quite possible. Minnesota isn't reeling from anti-ICE protests. Minnesota is reeling from ICE attacking. True! I like that framing better. Yes. Yes, you're right. DHS will never confirm or deny attempts to dox our law enforcement officers. Doxing our officers put their lives and their families in serious danger. Our law enforcement officers on the front line. What are you talking about? These aren't law enforcement. Anyways, Attorney General Pam Bondi said that she's spoken with the church pastor and promised the attacks against law enforcement and intimidation of Christians are being met with the full force of federal law. Fantastic. So anyways, the point being is, we need to pay attention to this because he might really do just invoke the Insurrection Act, at least attempt to. I don't know how that's going to play out, but it's certainly something that it's something that we should probably pay attention to, because if it is successful and he's not stopped and it's allowed, then perhaps why not invoke the Insurrection Act anywhere else? No one's stopping him. Yeah, the biggest problem with ICE is they're poorly trained individuals that often don't follow proper protocol, value basic rights. The incidents will become normal. They highlight anyone. Yeah, and the problem is they're, as Michael Hassler points out, it's because they want to do. They're being hired to do this exact thing. That's why Obama's used ICE in their incidents nowhere near this level of impunity. Yeah, and that's kind of the problem, right? Like, why was ICE in existence in the first place? Why wasn't ICE dissolved in the first place? Like using ICE the right way, right? Like, how did we not see this happen? Oh wait, we did. We did as the left. We watched something on GNN last night about a guy who recorded his ICE hiring process, which say there's no real process. Yep. Yeah, but they're not just hiring unprofessional, unqualified knuckleheads. That's the point. Like, it's not the training. It's the concept. They shouldn't exist. They don't need to exist. The problem with ICE is ICE itself. Yeah, they don't need to exist. We didn't have ICE 20... ICE is younger than I am. Not to date myself too much. ICE is younger than I am. There's no right way of using ICE since it stemmed from the Patriot Act. Yeah, exactly. It didn't exist 20 years ago. Yeah. We don't need ICE. Cars is over 20-year-olds. Check. Yep. Alright, folks. I'm talking about the present use of ICE on that scale as opposed to previous administration. The crux is that they hire new. Yeah, but like this was always this was always kind of like the setup. Does that make sense? Like this was always going to be the end result of a organization that was built this way. This was the inevitable conclusion. It should have never existed in the first place. Does that make sense? They'll take our country neat. Trump is using ICE to clean up the U.S. opposition voters preparing for Greenland. Wait, what are you talking about? Clean up the U.S. opposition voters? This makes no sense. What do you mean by that? Surrounded by yes men, he does not recognize his own mistakes, either a madman or a genius or a fascist thug. You know. The violence wasn't the same under previous administration. That's why you have such flare-ups. Too much, too fast, not enough training. Otherwise, Trump would have much havoc. Yeah, but you're not getting the point. The point being is that they shouldn't exist in the first place. How do you not see? How do you not see that this is where this was heading? Does that make sense? Like, ICE shouldn't be existing at all. The reason why we're talking about the present situation is because of the past. It doesn't matter how good Obama used ICE, or how nice it used to be, or how less brutal it used to be. The problem is that it exists, and the problem is that it always has this potential. It always has. When you have secret police like this, when you have overzealous enforcement like this, this is the inevitable situation. Trump wouldn't have opposition to towards ICE if their troops hadn't been that volatile. Yeah, but like there was always that propensity for that. The point being is that it was always bound to happen. Maybe not under Trump, maybe under the next one. F Obama, F ICE. If that makes sense. Anyways. It's time for me to get out of here, folks. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Thank you to the new yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that the reason why the present is happening is because of the past. That's what I'm saying. Problem is liberalism. Liberalism also wanted to form. Problem, not throw it out. I mean, I don't disagree. Yeah, there's no reforming ICE. ICE is a tool. Yes, it's an overreach. Yeah, and that was always the point, right? We didn't need ICE at all. That was always the point. Anyways, thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Astor, for modding the chat. If you want to support the channel, check out those wonderful links, folks. Please consider going to this space and subscribing to this space. And check out my show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Liberalism can't be reformed. It always ends up as fascism. The present is happening because of the past. It's true, though. I overcook my pasta. Oof. That's rough. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the new follows. Thank you all, as always, folks. Please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, which will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. on this space, or Wednesday 5 p.m. on the regular time. Thank you all for being here. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you in the next time. For real this time. See ya! Alright, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.